I never thought I'd find myself here, staring out the window of my sprawling mansion in Overland Park, feeling more alone than ever. It's been 3 years since Charles passed, leaving me with nothing but his fortune and an emptiness that seems to grow with each passing day. Miranda Moore, 42, widow, and utterly lost. The tick of the grandfather clock echoes through the hollow halls, reminding me of how time has become my enemy. I catch my reflection in the glass blonde hair perfectly coiffed, blue eyes dulled by grief. What am I doing with my life? My phone buzzes, another invitation to some charity gala or luncheon. The thought of facing those vapid socialites makes my stomach turn. They don't understand. They can't possibly know what it's like to lose the person you've built your entire world around. I toss the phone aside and wander into Charles's old study. The scent of his cologne still lingers faintly on the leather chair. My fingers trail along the bookshelf, coming to rest on a dusty pamphlet. Make a Difference, Rural Education Initiative, it reads. I vaguely remember picking this up months ago at some event. As I flip through the pages, something stirs within me. Images of smiling children, eager to learn despite their circumstances. Teachers working tirelessly to bring knowledge to remote areas. It's so far removed from my world of cocktail parties and designer labels. Before I can talk myself out of it, I'm dialing the number listed. A cheerful voice answers, explaining the program needs volunteers for their upcoming teaching initiative in rural Kansas. No experience necessary, just a willingness to help. I'd like to sign up, I hear myself say, surprising even myself. The woman on the other end sounds delighted. That's wonderful. We have an orientation session next week. Can I get your name? Miranda Moore, I reply, feeling a spark of something I haven't felt in years. Hope, maybe? As I hang up, I catch sight of myself in the mirror again. For the first time in ages, there's a glimmer in my eyes. This could be exactly what I need. A chance to escape the suffocating expectations of my social circle, to do something meaningful. I spend the next few days in a whirlwind of preparation, digging out old college textbooks, ordering teaching supplies online, even venturing into the attic to find more casual clothes. The mansion seems less oppressive now, filled with a nervous energy I'd almost forgotten. The night before the orientation, I find myself in the garden. It's overgrown and neglected, much like I've been these past years. As I run my hands through the tangled vines, I make a silent promise to myself and to Charles. I'm going to bring life back, to this garden, to these children's futures, and to myself. Sleep eludes me that night. I toss and turn, alternating between excitement and doubt. What if I'm too old for this? What if I can't connect with the kids? But every time I close my eyes, I see those hopeful faces from the pamphlet. Morning arrives, and I'm up before dawn. I choose a simple blouse and slacks, feeling oddly vulnerable without my usual armor of designer labels. As I sip my coffee, watching the sun rise over the manicured lawns of my neighborhood, I realize this is the first time in years I've felt truly alive. The drive to the community center is a blur of anticipation. I park my luxury car among a sea of more modest vehicles, suddenly self-conscious. Taking a deep breath, I smooth my hair and step out. You can do this, Miranda, I whisper to myself. As I push open the doors, the buzz of excited voices washes over me. The room is filled with people from all walks of life, united by a common purpose. For a moment, I hesitate, feeling like an imposter in this world so different from my own. That's when I see her. A woman with warm green eyes and a mess of chestnut curls, gesturing animatedly as she speaks to a small group. There's something about her that draws me in, a vitality that seems to light up the room. Little did I know, this woman would change my life forever. I take a deep breath and make my way towards the vibrant brunette. As I get closer, I catch snippets of her conversation, something about sustainable gardening techniques for rural schools. Her passion is evident in every word, and I find myself drawn in despite my nerves. Hi there, she turns to me with a warm smile. I'm Olivia Stewart, Program Coordinator. Welcome to our little band of educational revolutionaries. Miranda Moore, I reply, surprised by the steadiness in my voice. I'm, new to all this. Olivia's green eyes sparkle with amusement. Aren't we all at some point? Don't worry, we'll make a rural education expert out of you in no time. The orientation flies by in a whirlwind of information. Teaching strategies, cultural sensitivity, the challenges of rural education, it's overwhelming but exhilarating. I find myself taking copious notes, my mind racing with possibilities. During a break, I overhear Olivia mentioning her side gig as a landscaper. Before I can stop myself, I blurt out, "My garden's a disaster. I don't suppose you'd be interested in a little project?" Olivia chuckles. "Trying to poach my services already? I like your style, Miranda." There's a warmth in her gaze that makes my cheeks flush. "Tell you what, why don't we combine business with pleasure? We can plan our lessons while I whip your garden into shape." And just like that, a routine is born. Olivia comes over 3 times a week, armed with gardening tools and lesson plans. We spend hours in the overgrown mess that was once Charles's pride and joy, pulling weeds and discussing educational theories. "So, what made you decide to join our merry band?" Olivia asks one afternoon, wiping sweat from her brow. The summer sun has brought out a smattering of freckles across her nose, and I find myself oddly captivated. I hesitate, unsure how to explain the emptiness that led me here. "I guess I needed a change," I finally say. "A chance to do something meaningful." Olivia nods, understanding in her eyes. Life has a way of pushing us onto unexpected paths, doesn't it? But sometimes, that's where we find our true calling. As the weeks pass, I find myself looking forward to Olivia's visits more and more. She brings a vibrancy to my life that I hadn't realized was missing. We talk about everything and nothing. Our hopes, our fears, our dreams for the children we'll be teaching. One evening, as we sit on the patio reviewing our lesson plans, Olivia suddenly looks up at me. "You know, Miranda, you're nothing like I expected when I first saw you." I raise an eyebrow. "Oh, and what did you expect?" She grins sheepishly. "Honestly, when this polished society lady walked in, I thought you'd last maybe a week before running back to your cushy life." I can't help but laugh. "Trust me, I had my doubts too. But this, it feels right, you know?" Olivia's expression softens. "Yeah, I do know. And for what it's worth, I'm really glad you stuck around." There's a moment of charged silence, and I find myself acutely aware of how close we're sitting. The scent of soil and flowers clings to Olivia's skin, and I have a sudden, inexplicable urge to lean in closer. The spell is broken by a crack of thunder. We both jump, laughing as fat raindrops begin to fall. "Quick to the greenhouse!" Olivia shouts, grabbing my hand and pulling me along. We burst into the glass structure, breathless and giggling like schoolgirls. Olivia's curls are wild from the wind, her cheeks flushed. She's never looked more beautiful. "You know," she says, her voice soft, "I've really enjoyed getting to know you, Miranda." "Me too," I whisper, suddenly very aware of how close we're standing. The air between us feels electric. Olivia's gaze flicks to my lips, and I find myself leaning in almost involuntarily. Our lips meet in a soft, tentative kiss that sends shockwaves through my entire body. When we part, Olivia's eyes are wide with surprise and something else. Desire? Fear? Before I can process what just happened, she steps back. I should go," she stammers. "It's getting late and we have that training session tomorrow." I watch her hurry out into the rain, my mind reeling. What have I done? Have I ruined everything? That night, sleep eludes me. I toss and turn, replaying the kiss over and over in my mind. It felt so right, so natural. But what if Olivia doesn't feel the same way? What if I've misread everything? As dawn breaks, I make a decision. I'll talk to Olivia at the training session, clear the air. Whatever happens, I can't lose her friendship. It's become too important to me. I arrive at the community center early, my stomach in knots. When Olivia walks in, our eyes meet across the room. She gives me a small, nervous smile, and I feel a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, this is the start of something beautiful. The tension between Olivia and me is palpable as we navigate the training session. We steal glances at each other, a mix of uncertainty and longing in our eyes. The other volunteers seem oblivious to our silent dance, focused on the upcoming teaching assignments. As the session wraps up, Olivia approaches me. "Miranda, can we talk?" she asks softly. My heart races as I nod, following her to a quiet corner. "About last night," she begins, her green eyes meeting mine. "I'm sorry I ran off like that. It's just, I've never felt this way about a woman before. It scared me." I take a deep breath. It's new for me too, Olivia, but I can't deny there's something here between us. She smiles, relief washing over her face. "So, what do we do now?" How about we take it slow, I suggest. Keep working on the garden, planning our lessons. See where this leads us? Olivia nods, reaching out to squeeze my hand. I'd like that. And so, our dance continues. Our gardening sessions take on a new intensity, charged with unspoken desires. We work side by side, our hands brushing as we plant new seedlings, our bodies close as we prune overgrown shrubs. One balmy evening, we're sitting on the patio, sipping wine and discussing our upcoming lessons. Olivia's talking animatedly about a new teaching method she wants to try, and I find myself mesmerized by the passion in her voice. You're staring, she says, a playful smile on her lips. Sorry, I murmur. It's just, you're beautiful when you're excited about something. Olivia blushes, tucking a stray curl behind her ear. You're not so bad yourself, Miranda Moore. We lean in simultaneously, our lips meeting in a kiss that's both tender and electric. This time, neither of us pulls away. When we finally part, we're both breathless. Wow, Olivia whispers. Yeah, I agree, unable to stop smiling. From that moment on, our relationship blossoms like the flowers in my once-neglected garden. We spend our days planning lessons and tending to the plants, our evenings exploring this new connection between us. One night, as we lay on a blanket under the stars, Olivia turns to me. Tell me about your husband, she says softly. I'm surprised by the request, but I find myself opening up. I tell her about Charles, about our life together, about the pain of losing him. Olivia listens intently, her hand intertwined with mine. He sounds like he was a wonderful man, she says when I finish. He was, I agree. But being with you, it's helping me remember who I am, beyond just being Charles's widow. Olivia pulls me close, kissing me deeply. We make love there in the garden, surrounded by the fruits of our labor. It's tender and passionate, a beautiful joining of two souls. As we lay in each other's arms afterward, I feel a sense of peace I haven't known in years. The weeks fly by, and soon it's time for us to leave for our teaching assignment. We pack up Olivia's beat-up truck, laughing as we try to fit all our supplies. Are you sure you don't want to take your car? Olivia asks, eyeing my luxury sedan. I shake my head. Nah, this feels more authentic. Plus, I like being close to you. The drive to the rural community is filled with singing along to the radio and sharing our hopes for the program. As we pull into the small town, reality sets in. The school is old and underfunded, the children's faces a mix of curiosity and wariness. But as we start our first lesson, something magical happens. The kids' eyes light up as we introduce new concepts, their enthusiasm infectious. Olivia and I exchange proud glances, realizing the impact we're already making. That night, in our small shared room at the local boarding house, Olivia pulls me close. We're really doing this, aren't we? She whispers. We really are, I reply, kissing her softly. The next few weeks are a whirlwind of teaching, learning, and falling deeper in love. We face challenges, limited resources, initial skepticism from some parents, but we tackle them together. Our nights are spent lesson planning and making love, our days filled with the joy of educating eager young minds. One evening, as we're walking back from the school, Olivia stops suddenly. Miranda, she says, her voice serious, I think I'm falling in love with you. My heart soars. Oh, Olivia, I breathe. I'm already there. We kiss right there on the dusty street, not caring who might see. When we part, Olivia's eyes are shining with tears of joy. You know, she says, I never expected to find love in a place like this. I laugh, pulling her close. Life has a funny way of surprising us, doesn't it? As we walk back to our room, hand in hand, I feel a sense of contentment I never thought I'd experience again. This journey has brought me more than I ever could have imagined. Purpose, passion, and a love that feels like coming home. Little do I know, life has one more surprise in store for us. One that will test the strength of our newfound love and change our lives forever. Our time in the rural community flies by, a blur of chalk dust and children's laughter. Before we know it, we're back in Overland Park, our hearts full of memories, and our minds brimming with ideas for future programs. I can't believe how much those kids taught us, Olivia muses as we unpack her truck. It's like we went there to teach, but came back as students ourselves. I nod, unable to keep the smile off my face. It's changed everything, hasn't it? The way we see the world, the way we see ourselves. The way we see each other," Olivia adds softly, pulling me in for a kiss. We fall back into our routine, but everything feels different now. Our love has deepened, tempered by the challenges we face together. The garden, once neglected, now bursts with life, a testament to our shared labor and love. One afternoon, as we're pruning roses, Olivia brings up a topic we've danced around before. "Have you ever thought about having children?" she asks, her voice casual but her eyes searching. I pause, memories flooding back. Charles and we tried for years, I admit, but it never happened. After a while, we just accepted it wasn't in the cards for us. Olivia squeezes my hand. "I'm sorry, Miranda. That must have been hard." I shrug, trying to lighten the mood. "It was, but hey, now I get to be the cool aunt to all those kids we taught, right?" Olivia laughs, but there's a thoughtful look in her eyes. "Yeah, I guess we do." The conversation sticks with me, stirring up long-buried desires. That night, I find myself unable to sleep, my mind racing with what-ifs. What if it wasn't too late? What if there was still a chance? The next morning, I make a call I never thought I'd make again. The fertility clinic where Charles and I had our last rounds of treatment. To my surprise, they still have our records and his samples. "Mrs. Moore," the doctor says, her voice kind but professional. "Given your age, the chances are slim. But, if you want to try, we can schedule you for a consultation." I agree before I can talk myself out of it. It's impulsive, I know. But after years of feeling stuck, of letting life happen to me, I want to take control, to chase this dream that I thought I'd let go of. The next few weeks are a whirlwind of appointments and tests. I keep it all from Olivia, telling myself I'll share everything once I know if it's even possible. But as the process moves forward, as each hurdle is cleared, I find myself caught in a web of my own making. One evening, as we're curled up on the couch, Olivia turns to me with concern in her eyes. "Miranda, is everything okay? You've seemed distant lately." I force a smile. "Just tired, I guess. All this volunteer work on top of managing the estate. It's a lot sometimes." Olivia nods, but I can see she's not entirely convinced. "You know you can talk to me about anything, right?" "I know," I say, kissing her softly. "I love you." "I love you too," she replies, and the guilt gnaws at me. The day of the procedure arrives. I tell Olivia I have meetings about the estate, hating myself for the lie. As I lay on the cold exam table, I'm hit with the magnitude of what I'm doing. Not just trying to have a baby, but doing it without telling the woman I love. "Are you ready, Mrs. Moore?" the doctor asks. I take a deep breath and nod. It's done in minutes, and I'm sent home with instructions to rest and wait. The 2-week waiting period is excruciating. I throw myself into our volunteer work, into the garden, anything to keep my mind off the possibility growing inside me. Olivia notices, of course, how could she not? But she doesn't push, just offers silent support and gentle touches that make my guilt even worse. Finally, the day arrives. I sneak away to take the test, my hands shaking as I wait for the results. When I see the 2 pink lines, my world shifts on its axis. I'm pregnant. At 42, against all odds, I'm going to have a baby. The joy is immediately tempered by panic. How do I tell Olivia? Will she understand why I kept this from her? Will she even want to be part of this new chapter of my life? I spend the next few days in a daze, alternating between elation and terror. Olivia's concerned glances become more frequent, and I know I can't keep this secret much longer. It all comes to a head at the school fundraiser we've been planning. We're in the middle of setting up when a wave of nausea hits me. I barely make it to the bathroom before I'm violently ill. Olivia holds my hair back, her face a mask of worry. "Miranda, please," she begs. "Tell me what's going on. Are you sick? Do we need to go to the hospital?" I look up at her, this woman who's become my whole world, and I know I can't lie anymore. "I'm not sick," I say, my voice barely above a whisper. "I'm pregnant." The shock on Olivia's face is like a physical blow. "What?" she gasps. "How? When?" And so, in a school bathroom of all places, I tell her everything, about the clinic, the treatments, the secret appointments. With each word, I see the hurt and betrayal grow in her eyes. When I finish, there's a long, painful silence. Finally, Olivia speaks, her voice trembling. "I can't believe you did this without talking to me. I thought we were partners, Miranda. I thought we shared everything." "We are," I plead. "We do. I was scared. I didn't want to get your hopes up if it didn't work. Olivia shakes her head, tears in her eyes. That wasn't your decision to make alone. Not if you really see us as equals in this relationship. She turns to leave and panic grips me. Olivia, please, I call out. I love you. I want us to raise this baby together. She pauses at the door, her back to me. I need time, Miranda, to think, to process all this. I need time. With that, she's gone, leaving me alone with the echoes of my mistakes and the life growing inside me. As I sink to the floor, sobs racking my body, I wonder if I've destroyed the best thing in my life in pursuit of a dream I thought I'd let go of long ago. The days following the fundraiser blur together in a haze of morning sickness and heartache. Olivia's absence is a physical ache, her silence deafening. I try to reach out, calls, texts, even a handwritten letter left on her doorstep. But she remains distant. As I sit in my garden, now a painful reminder of the love we shared, I can't help but wonder if I've made the biggest mistake of my life. The joy of my pregnancy is tainted by the fear that I've lost Olivia forever. Weeks pass, and I throw myself into preparing for the baby. I transform Charles's old study into a nursery, each brush stroke a bittersweet reminder of the future I'd imagined with Olivia by my side. The first ultrasound is a moment of pure magic, marred only by the empty space beside me where Olivia should have been. It's during one of these quiet moments, as I'm sorting through baby clothes, that my phone buzzes with a text from Olivia. My heart leaps into my throat as I read her message. Can we talk? We meet at a small cafe, neutral ground. Olivia looks tired, her usual vibrant energy dimmed. The silence between us is heavy with unspoken words. How are you feeling? She finally asks, her voice soft. Physically or emotionally? I attempt a weak joke. Because let me tell you, morning sickness is no joke. A ghost of a smile flickers across Olivia's face before fading. Miranda, I've been doing a lot of thinking, she begins, and my heart races. What you did. It hurt me. Deeply. I felt betrayed, like I wasn't important enough to be included in such a huge decision. I open my mouth to protest, but she holds up a hand. Let me finish, please. I was angry and hurt. But I've realized something these past few weeks. I love you, Miranda. And as much as your actions hurt me, the thought of not being with you hurts even more. Tears spring to my eyes. Oh, Olivia, I whisper. I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I was scared and impulsive, and I made a huge mistake by not talking to you first. Olivia reaches across the table, taking my hand in hers. I know, and while I can't say I'm over it completely, I want to try to work through this. Together. Relief washes over me like a tidal wave. Together, I repeat, squeezing her hand. That's all I want. We spend the next few hours talking, really talking, about our fears, our hopes, our dreams for the future. It's not easy, and there are moments of tension, but it feels like we're finally on the same page again. As we leave the cafe, Olivia hesitates. Can I come see the nursery? I nod, my heart swelling with hope. Back at the house, I lead her to the transformed study. Olivia takes in the soft yellow walls, the white crib, the stuffed animals waiting for tiny arms to hold them. It's beautiful, she says softly, running her hand along the crib rail. But it's missing something. Before I can ask what, she pulls out a small package from her bag. Inside is a mobile, handmade with tiny paper flowers, exact replicas of the ones we grew together in the garden. I've been working on this, Olivia admits. Even when I was angry, even when I wasn't sure if I could forgive you. I couldn't stop thinking about this baby, our baby. I burst into tears, hormones and emotion overwhelming me. Olivia pulls me close, her own eyes glistening. We're really doing this, aren't we? She whispers. We really are, I reply, echoing our conversation from months ago. The next few months are a whirlwind of doctor's appointments, childbirth classes, and planning for the future. Olivia is by my side for all of it, her excitement growing with my expanding belly. We spend evenings reading parenting books aloud to each other, debating names, and dreaming about the life we'll build together. But as my due date approaches, a new tension arises. My social circle, largely ignored since I began volunteering, starts to take notice of my condition. Whispers and sidelong glances follow us at charity events. The question of the baby's father hangs unspoken in the air. One afternoon, at a garden party I couldn't avoid, an old friend of Charles's corners me. Miranda, darling, she coos, her voice dripping with false concern. We're all so curious. Who's the lucky father? I freeze, unsure how to respond. Olivia, sensing my distress, appears at my side. "The baby is ours," she says firmly, taking my hand. "Miranda and I are together, and we couldn't be happier about our growing family." The woman's eyes widen in shock, and I can practically see the gossip spreading through her mind. But in that moment, looking at Olivia's proud, defiant face, I couldn't care less what anyone thinks. As we drive home, I turn to Olivia. "Thank you for that, for standing up for us, for our family." She smiles, squeezing my hand. "Always. We're in this together, remember?" That night, as we lay in bed, Olivia's hand resting on my swollen belly, I feel a profound sense of peace. Yes, we still have challenges ahead. Yes, there will be people who don't understand or accept our family. But with Olivia by my side, I know we can face anything. "I love you," I whisper into the darkness. "I love you too," Olivia replies, her voice full of tenderness. "Both of you." As I drift off to sleep, the baby kicks, as if in agreement. Our little family, imperfect and unexpected, but filled with more love than I ever thought possible. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. The autumn air carries a crisp chill as Olivia and I make our way to the school for the annual fundraiser. My hand rests on my now prominent belly, a gesture that's become second nature. Olivia walks beside me, her arm protectively around my waist, ready to steady me at a moment's notice. As we enter the bustling gymnasium, decorated with fall-themed crafts made by the children, I can't help but recall last year's event. How different things were then, how much has changed. The secret I carried then now proudly on display for all to see. "Miranda, Olivia!" A group of teachers waves us over, their faces alight with genuine warmth. These are our people now, the ones who've accepted us without question, who see the love we share rather than the conventions we've broken. We mingle, discussing upcoming projects and the impact of our rural education initiative. I feel a surge of pride as I listen to Olivia passionately describe our plans for expanding the program. This is the life we've built together, full of purpose and meaning. But not everyone shares in our joy. As we make our way through the crowd, I catch sight of Evelyn Hartley, one of the most influential and conservative members of the school board. Her lips purse in disapproval as her gaze lands on my swollen belly, then flicks to Olivia's protective stance beside me. "Miranda," she greets me, her voice cool. "I see congratulations are in order." "Thank you, Evelyn," I reply, forcing a smile. "Olivia and I are very excited." Evelyn's eyebrows rise at the mention of Olivia. "Indeed," she says, her tone making it clear she's anything but pleased. "I do hope you've considered how unconventional arrangements might affect the children in our programs." I feel Olivia tense beside me, ready to jump to our defense. But before either of us can respond, we're interrupted by a small voice. "Miss Miranda, Miss Olivia." Little Sophie, one of our star pupils from the rural program, comes barreling towards us. She throws her arms around both our legs, her face beaming up at us. "Is the baby coming soon? Can I babysit?" I laugh, my hand automatically going to my belly. "Not just yet, sweetheart, but when the time comes, we'll certainly keep you in mind." Sophie nods seriously before scampering off, leaving us alone with a now speechless Evelyn. The look on her face, a mix of surprise and grudging respect, is priceless. "If you'll excuse us," Olivia says smoothly, "we have some other people to greet." As we walk away, I squeeze Olivia's hand. "Thank you," I whisper. She smiles, but I can see the strain around her eyes. "Always. But Miranda, maybe we need to have a conversation about how we're going to handle this going forward, for our family's sake." I nod, knowing she's right. The reality of raising a child in a world that might not always understand or accept our love is starting to sink in. Later that night, as we're getting ready for bed, Olivia brings it up again. "I've been thinking," she says, her voice hesitant. "Maybe we should consider moving. Somewhere more accepting." I pause, toothbrush halfway to my mouth. "Move? But our life is here. Our work, our friends." "I know," Olivia sighs. "But I worry about our baby growing up facing constant judgment. Don't you want them to see families like ours as normal?" I sit on the edge of the bed, my mind whirling. Of course I do. But running away isn't the answer. We can't hide from the world, Olivia. We need to stand our ground, show people that love is love, no matter what form it takes. Olivia joins me, taking my hands in hers. You're right, I want to protect our family, you know? I know, I say softly, leaning in to kiss her. And we will, together. We spend the next few hours talking, really talking, about our fears and hopes for the future, about how we'll handle the inevitable questions and challenges. It's a hard conversation, but a necessary one. As we finally settle into bed, Olivia's hand resting protectively on my belly, I feel a sense of peace. We may not have all the answers, but we have each other. And that's a pretty good start. The next morning, I wake to find Olivia's side of the bed empty. Confused, I make my way downstairs, following the sound of her voice. I find her in the nursery, phone pressed to her ear, pacing back and forth. Yes, I understand the concerns, she's saying, her tone firm but respectful. But I assure you our personal life has no bearing on our ability to run effective educational programs. I lean against the doorframe, listening as Olivia defends our relationship, our family, to what I assume is a member of the school board. Pride swells in my chest at her eloquence, her passion. When she hangs up, she turns to find me watching her. Hey, she says softly, how long have you been standing there? Long enough to fall in love with you all over again. I reply, crossing the room to pull her into my arms. Olivia chuckles, but I can feel the tension in her body. That was the head of the school board, she explains. Apparently, Evelyn's been making some noise about our suitability to run the programs. I feel a flash of anger, quickly replaced by determination. And we'll just have to prove her wrong, won't we? Olivia's eyes meet mine, a slow smile spreading across her face. You know, she says, I think I'm starting to rub off on you, Miranda Moore. I laugh, pulling her in for a kiss. Is that such a bad thing? As we stand there, surrounded by the soft yellows and greens of the nursery, our baby kicking between us, I'm struck by how far we've come. From lonely widow and dedicated teacher to partners, lovers, soon-to-be parents. It hasn't been an easy road, and I know we have more challenges ahead. But in this moment, I wouldn't change a thing. So, Olivia says, her hand joining mine on my belly. Are we ready to take on the world? I smile, feeling our baby move beneath our joined hands. Bring it on. The weeks that follow are a whirlwind of activity. Olivia and I throw ourselves into our work, determined to prove our worth to the school board and anyone else who might doubt us. We organize parent-teacher nights, volunteer at local events, and even start a weekend literacy program for adults in the community. It's exhausting, especially with my advancing pregnancy, but also exhilarating. Every time I see a child's face light up with understanding, or watch an adult proudly write their name for the first time, I know we're making a difference. One evening, as we're cleaning up after a particularly successful family reading night, I catch Olivia staring at a group of children playing nearby. There's a wistfulness in her eyes that tugs at my heart. Penny, for your thoughts? I ask, nudging her gently. She starts, as if pulled from a daydream. Oh, it's nothing. Just thinking about our little one. Her hand reaches out to touch my belly, a gesture that's become so natural it feels like an extension of myself. And? I prompt, sensing there's more. Olivia hesitates. And? Wondering what kind of world we're bringing them into, if we're doing enough to make it better. I take her hand, intertwining our fingers. Hey, look at me. We're doing amazing things here. These kids, these families, we're changing their lives. I know, she sighs. But sometimes it feels like for every step forward, we're pushed 2 steps back. Did you see the look some of the parents were giving us tonight? I had noticed, of course, the whispers, the sidelong glances. But I'd chosen to focus on the smiles, the thank yous, the children who clamored for Miss Olivia to read them one more story. We can't change everyone's minds overnight, I say gently. But we can keep showing up, keep doing the work. That's how real change happens. Olivia nods, but I can see the worry still lingering in her eyes. It's a conversation we've had many times over the past months, each of us taking turns being the optimist when the other falters. As we drive home, a comfortable silence settles between us. I watch the familiar streets of Overland Park pass by, thinking about how much this place has changed for me. Once a gilded cage of social expectations, now a battleground where we fight for acceptance, one small victory at a time. Oh, I exclaim suddenly, my hand flying to my belly. Olivia nearly swerves off the road in panic. What? What is it? Is it time? I can't help but laugh at her wide-eyed expression. No, the baby just kicked. Here, feel. I guide her hand to the spot, and we wait. A moment later, there's another strong kick. Olivia's face lights up with wonder, all traces of worry momentarily forgotten. "That's our baby," she whispers, awe in her voice. "That's our baby," I confirm, my heart swelling with love for both of them. The next day, I'm at home going through some paperwork when the doorbell rings. To my surprise, it's Sophie, the little girl from the fundraiser, standing on our porch with her mother. "Miss Miranda," Sophie exclaims, "I made this for the baby." She thrusts a colorful, if slightly lopsided, knitted blanket into my hands. "Oh, Sophie, it's beautiful," I say, genuinely touched. "Thank you so much." Sophie beams, then turns to her mother expectantly. The woman, who I recognize as one of the quieter parents from our programs, steps forward hesitantly. "I wanted to thank you," she says, her voice soft but sincere. "The reading program, it's changed everything for Sophie, and for me. I'm learning too, you know. I never thought I could." She trails off, emotion choking her words. Without thinking, I pull her into a hug. Over her shoulder, I see Olivia pulling up in the driveway, her face a mix of curiosity and concern. As I introduce Olivia to our visitors, I watch Sophie's mother closely. There's a moment of hesitation, a flicker of something, surprise, uncertainty, in her eyes. But then Sophie launches into an excited explanation of the blanket she made, and any tension dissipates. After they leave, Olivia turns to me, her eyes shining. "Did you see that? The way she looked at us at the end? Like she finally got it?" I nod, my own heart full. One mind at a time, remember? That night, as we lay in bed, Olivia props herself up on one elbow, gazing down at me. "I've been thinking," she says, a nervous edge to her voice. "Dangerous pastime," I tease, earning a playful swat. "I'm serious, Miranda." Seeing Sophie and her mom today, it made me realize something. I want this, all of it. The late-night feedings, the first steps, the parent-teacher conferences. I want to be a mom, not just your partner. My breath catches in my throat. We've danced around this topic before, but never so directly. "Olivia, are you saying?" "I want to adopt the baby," she says in a rush. "I want us to be a real family, legally and everything. If that's okay with you." Tears spring to my eyes as I pull her down for a kiss. "Okay? Olivia, it's more than okay. It's perfect." We spend the rest of the night talking excitedly about the future, about the legal process ahead of us, about the life we'll build together. As I drift off to sleep, Olivia's arm protectively around me and our baby, I feel a sense of completeness I never thought possible. The next morning, reality crashes back in the form of a strongly worded email from the school board. They've called an emergency meeting to discuss the concerns raised about our program leadership. It's clear that Evelyn and her allies are making their move. Olivia reads the email over my shoulder, her jaw set in determination. "Well," she says, a hint of steel in her voice, "I guess it's time to show them exactly what we're made of." As we prepare for the meeting, gathering testimonials from parents and students, compiling data on the program's success, I feel a mix of anxiety and excitement. This is it, our chance to stand up for our family, for our work, for everything we believe in. "Ready?" Olivia asks as we stand outside the boardroom, hand in hand. I take a deep breath, feeling our baby move within me. "Ready?" I reply, squeezing her hand. Together, we push open the doors, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Because that's what families do. They face the world together, come what may. The school board meeting is a blur of tense faces and heated arguments. Evelyn and her supporters don't pull any punches, questioning our moral fitness to lead educational programs. But Olivia and I stand our ground, armed with testimonials, data, and the unwavering support of the families we've helped. As I listen to Olivia passionately defend our work, our relationship, our future, I'm struck by how far we've come. The woman beside me isn't just my partner or the future mother of my child. She's my rock, my champion, my home. Hours later, we emerge victorious. The board votes to keep us on, citing the undeniable positive impact of our programs. As we walk to the car, emotionally drained but elated, Olivia suddenly stops. "Miranda," she says, her voice trembling slightly. "Marry me." I blink, sure I've misheard. "What?" Olivia drops to one knee right there in the parking lot, heedless of the curious onlookers. I know it's not legal here, not yet. But I don't care. I want to stand up in front of everyone we love and promise to be yours forever. What do you say? Tears blur my vision as I pull her to her feet and into my arms. Yes, I whisper against her lips. 1,000 times yes. The next few weeks pass in a whirlwind of wedding plans and prenatal appointments. We decide on a small ceremony in our garden, surrounded by the flowers we've nurtured together. It feels right, celebrating our love in the place where it first bloomed. The morning of the wedding dawns bright and clear. As I stand in front of the mirror, adjusting my flowing maternity dress, I'm overwhelmed by a sense of rightness. This is where I'm meant to be. Who I'm meant to be with. Olivia appears in the doorway, stunning in a tailored suit. Her eyes widen as she takes me in. "Miranda," she breathes, "you're beautiful." I reach for her hand, needing her touch to ground me. "So are you." We make our way to the garden, where our closest friends and supportive colleagues have gathered. I see Sophie in the front row, practically vibrating with excitement. Even a few of my old society friends have come, their presence a silent show of support that means more than I can say. As we exchange vows, promising to love and cherish each other through whatever life throws our way, I feel our baby kick. It's as if they're joining in, adding their own little stamp of approval to our union. Just as we're about to kiss, sealing our commitment, I feel a sharp pain. I gasp, clutching my belly. Olivia's eyes widen in alarm. "Miranda? What's wrong?" I manage through gritted teeth. "The baby has decided they don't want to miss the party." What follows is a chaotic rush to the hospital, still in our wedding attire. Olivia never leaves my side, holding my hand through every contraction, whispering words of encouragement. Hours later, exhausted but euphoric, I hold our daughter in my arms. She's perfect. A tuft of dark hair, eyes that already seem to hold the wisdom of the ages, and tiny fingers that wrap around Olivia's pinky with surprising strength. "Hello, little one," Olivia coos, her voice choked with emotion. "We've been waiting for you." As I watch them together, my wife and our daughter, I'm struck by how complete our family feels. It's not what I ever imagined for myself, but it's more perfect than anything I could have dreamed up. The next year is a blur of sleepless nights, first smiles, and a love so fierce it takes my breath away. We navigate the challenges of new parenthood together, learning and growing with each passing day. Our daughter, Lily, becomes the center of our world. She has Olivia's curls and my blue eyes, and a personality that's all her own. Watching her grow, seeing the world through her eyes, renews our passion for education and community building. We expand our programs, reaching more families, changing more lives. The opposition we once faced gradually fades as people see the positive impact we're making. Even Evelyn, once our staunchest critic, begrudgingly admits that our unconventional family seems to be doing just fine. One sunny afternoon, as we're playing with Lily in the garden, Olivia turns to me with a mischievous glint in her eye. "So, Mrs. Moore Stewart," she says, using the name we decided to share, "what do you think about giving Lily a sibling?" I laugh, pulling her in for a kiss. I say, "that sounds like a wonderful adventure." As we sit there planning our future, I'm struck by how far we've come, from a lonely widow and a dedicated teacher to wives, mothers, and community leaders. It hasn't been an easy road, but every challenge, every obstacle we've overcome has only made us stronger. Lily toddles over, throwing herself into our arms with a giggle. As we hug our daughter close, I catch Olivia's eye over Lily's curly head. The love I see there, the promise of all the adventures yet to come, fills me with a joy I never thought possible. This is our family. Unconventional perhaps, unexpected certainly, but built on a foundation of love, respect, and a shared passion for making the world a little bit better. And as I look at my wife and our daughter, I know that whatever challenges the future holds, we'll face them together. Because that's what families do. And ours, in all its beautiful, messy, perfect imperfection, is the greatest adventure of all.